How's it going, guys and gals? This is Advanced Warrior here, and welcome back to another Advanced Wars by Web replay commentary. Today I have another special replay commentary with a collaboration from another special guest, so feel free to introduce yourself, DPSI.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name's DPSI. I've been playing Advanced Wars by Web for maybe like 4 or 5 years at this point, and a YouTube channel at DPSI Duck. And I love talking about it, playing it, and analyzing games, which is what we're going to be doing here today.
Yep, and you told me before recording that it's actually pronounced DSI.
Oh yeah, well, original intent is lost, and yeah, the only one that slightly gets under my skin is Dipsy, which honestly, listen, I'm not a Teletubby, never have been, never will be.
I almost thought about calling you. I thought it was Dipsy Duck for some reason, but that's DPSI. He has got his own YouTube channel. It's going in the description below. Usually he reviews Global League games at certain ratings, and this previous season, at the time we're recording, he actually did my game for the 900 rankings.
Yeah, that's right. It was a really fun game. It was considering it was a max mirror, which oftentimes are like really fast and explosive and kind of, everybody runs out of vehicles really quickly. The game lasted a really long time.
Oh my god, it did.
I thought it was one of the most memorable games of that particular season.
It lasted a whole month in real life, which is funny because it lasted around like 30 days, but in real life it lasted a month. And oh man!
So basically, what you're saying is you lived this war.
I lived this war. I have also done it on my channel, but if you definitely want a more in-depth review, in-depth breakdown from a more experienced commentator, definitely check out DPSI and all of his other videos. So I'm a personal fan of DPSI. We've actually talked way before this. Actually, it was DPSI I had to go to be a featured creator on the Advanced Wars by Web Discord server. And I would say that you've definitely contributed to helping me get to this point in my YouTube channel. So I thank you for that.
Oh, of course. Most definitely.
Alrighty, so I decided to challenge him. Just try to have a little bit of fun with it as well, and we had a very interesting game. So the map here is called the Static. The first thing you might notice about this map is that there is an artillery stuck on the pipes, and there are 2 pipe seams adjacent to it. And as you know, with artillery, they can only attack the far pipe seam, which allows some of your units to move down to the bottom side and start capturing these properties. And you might need to invest in another artillery or have more units attacking the other pipe seam to free your first artillery. We have some ocean tiles in the corners here, so it's kind of divides the 3 fronts here. Each player has a base that's kind of outside this little pipe seam box. There's a port here, which could maybe help bring vehicles to the center a little bit faster, because they could go around the pipe seam, hit the port, and then just being brought to the center. But I've never seen that happen. But what do you think about this map, DPSI?
Yeah, I was just gonna chime in too. Yeah, I've never seen the port be used, but I guess if you break the pipe seam, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles. So in theory, you could boost your tanks 1 turn to here.
They have to go around some forests and the pipe seams if they were to forego the lander way.
Yeah, pretty crazy, but maybe an idea to try someday. But
maybe
I don't have high hopes for it.
I don't have high hopes for it. Personally, I wouldn't try to fight too much in the center, but I usually see some combat in the center. Usually the strong side would be where this outside base is, because it's easier to reinforce. I feel like the most contested properties on this map are usually the ones in the corners.
Yeah, it can play that way for sure. I actually do have a preference for fighting in the center. There are these forests adjacent to these cities here in the middle, which can make it kind of nice to like, you know, get a nice big army and sort of attack from forest when you're clearing the city. So these two cities are not too hard to fight for. Diving for this one can be hard. Diving for this can be hard. But I think the main reason why you shove an army in here is because you can block off this 3-tile choke, go for an HQ cap, block at the mountain, and block the top. And like the HQ is actually a bit more exposed than you might think.
Okay. I mean, they're like close together in the middle, but I didn't really see them as very exposed.
Yeah, I the last, at least, I don't know, at least the last couple games I've had here have gone to HQ cap.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it usually goes that way. But the side stuff, definitely there can be some action. Like, it's one of those things where, like, if you all in too much on the center, your opponent can like send 1 infantry over and then capture 2 properties, and then you're really sad.
Yep.
But yeah, as long as you like have the right force to repel like the force moving in, like you can usually spare a few more units in center, and like, you know, center has all sorts of nice benefits. You know, being able to sort of pick your battles, and there's a fair number of properties in the center, as I talked about. So you do get rewarded if you make gains in the center.
All right, and I almost forgot to mention their airports in the very back corner, which isn't too hard to get. You know, thinking about it now, I've had some games where an HQ cap has gone underway playing this map, but I thought that was just because I sucked or something.
I don't know. No, I think it's a legitimate thing. Yeah, especially if you have somebody that a CO that really likes capturing CO. I said that backwards. Especially if you have a CO that really likes capturing HQs.
Yes, it was against
Lash
the Sammy.
or Sammy.
It was against the Sammy.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. I think the game before this, I surround captured the HQ, and I actually don't remember how this game ends, but I won't spoil it.
Okay.
Because,
Yep.
I've been flamed recently for spoiling endings.
Oh man, I mean, that usually happens. It's like it kind of kills the motivation to like watch, kills the suspense. And one more thing almost forgot to mention. I've noticed some people don't realize that you can send the infantry through the mountains. It's only the vehicles that have to go around the pipes.
Oh yeah, infantry over the mountains is like one of the key decisions in cap phase, is figuring out when you go for this city down here and this city up here, which are only 2 turns away from the base by infantry.
Oh yeah, so definitely infantry can make a presence in the center. Alright, so as for COs, I set up a tier 2 game, and I kind of chose an interesting CO out of fun, as well as trying him out, because I don't have a whole lot of games with this certain CO. Me, on Green Earth, I have chosen Eagle. Eagle's day-to-day is that his battlecopters get plus 15% offense and plus 10% defense, as well as consuming 2 fuel per day rather than 5 fuel? Or is it 3 fuel and everyone else gets 5 fuel? Less?
All I do is like look at the little fuel number, and when it's low, I put it on a city. I don't really, I don't know too much about the fuel
for air units.
I have no idea.
You would refuel an air unit with a city. What?
Well, I think I'd use an APC for that, actually.
Yes, I would. But he consumes less fuel with its air units, but I usually don't see that come into play a whole lot. His downside is that his naval units have minus 30% attack, which I don't find hurts him at all, considering how expensive Navy units are and how limited they are. But if you're ever considering building a battleship on this map, definitely Eagle is not the right CO to do that. As far as power, Lightning Drive, 3 stars. I believe correct me if I'm wrong, gives all of his air units plus 20% offense and defense.
That sounds about right.
Which is a very... It's not worth using this power. Like, the only time I've ever seen anyone use Lightning Drive was to give all of their other units plus 10% offense and defense from the CO bonus. Never have I ever seen anyone use this power just to give their copters a small boost.
You'd have to be in a really very specific situation where it makes sense.
Yes. And for his super, which is a whopping 9 stars, is Lightning Strike, which allows all of his non-infantry units to move and attack again, as well as giving his air units that plus 20% bonus. This is something that you would want to use at the end of your turn, and this is something that if infantry had this bonus, it would be absolutely broken, so that's why infantry are the only units that cannot move again. So I would say this power is what gives Eagle a really high skill ceiling. It sounds very broken, but I have seen some like lower level players use this power and not really get much out of it. You really need to know when and how to use the super, especially in fog where you have to find your targets. There's also a few other things you can do, such as before you use your power, you can build vehicles from your base, and then you use your power, move your vehicles off the base, and build infantry just to help out with your unit count.
Definitely. One thing about the Eagle power that it's like a way of thinking about it that's really helpful. Basically, what it does is the turn you use it, it kind of doubles the amount of stuff you have.
Oh, yes.
Effectively. Like, it doubles the amount of hits you do, infantry notwithstanding. It sort of like doubles your value on that turn. So the more army value you have on the turn that you lightning strike, the more value you get out of it. So, I mean, that kind of like boils down to the idea that Eagle wants to get as big an army as possible to get as many double hits as possible, and his opponent wants to prune down Eagle's army and like trade off and keep the numbers low so that when lightning strike comes, it's not game ending.
So, how do you feel about Eagle on this particular map?
I'm an Eagle fan for sure.
Oh, yay!
I like Eagle a lot as a CO, and the Dittos can be a little bit crazy. He's one of my favorite picks in Tier 2, because I don't mind the Ditto as much as some other people do.
Master Kanpai.
Yeah.
Calling him out. Alright, but if I ever play like a Tier 2 game and I have the chance to like try Eagle, it's like recently my last few Tier 2 globally games have been with Max, and well, at this point you've guys seen how it went with them. I have considered Eagle sometimes, but a challenging CO for Eagle has like kind of been like Olaf. I don't feel like I'm at that level to know how to play Eagle against an Olaf who has Winter Furies way before Eagle gets his lightning strike.
Yeah, exactly. Olaf does have that first power Winter Fury idea. Yeah. And I think Eagle does have answers for it, but like he does have to eat the Winter Fury, heal up, stall out again, and then you really hope to end the game with the next lightning strike instead of like eating another Winter Fury after you lightning strike again. So that's like one way to play it, at least. I think that's kind of my default way that I think about it. Okay. But it can work, but it doesn't require a lot of planning by Olaf to do that. So the game plan is kind of harder for Eagle, I think.
Yep. If I ever feel more confident with playing Eagle against an Olaf, I probably might, but we'll just see in the future. Alright, as for your CO, you are the third person I have collabed with who picked Cobalt Ice. And you sent me a water gun emoji with a penguin saying I've been in a Cobalt Ice main already. First it was Can't Buy, then Go 7, and now you, and now Red Halo.
Yeah, and Red Halo, yeah.
You're all.
Listen. Let me just.
I don't hate Cobalt Ice, but it's getting repetitive.
Listen, man, I've been picking Cobalt Ice earlier than all those fools. Okay. Okay.
I've been listen. I've just gone with the COs that are like close to the lore, and if they face the other direction, I just pick the other color that faces the right direction. Which, by the way, Advanced Wars by Web. Why the hell is Amber Blaze facing the same direction as Yellow Comet?
The world may never know.
If please change that, and I'll consider picking it if I'm on the left side of the map. Oh man.
Yeah, I actually counterpick colors so that my color stands out versus my opponent's color.
Dang.
So the two colors I switch between are Amber Blaze and Cobalt Ice.
I do like
and
blue.
between blue and orange, it's like it usually works.
Yeah. And so speaking of armies, your commanding officer is Kindle. Kindle's passive is that she gets a plus 40% attack with the prerequisite of attacking from a property. Keep in mind that missile silos do not count. But I've heard if there is a missile on that missile silo, then she does get that bonus. But yeah, properties are like cities, bases, airports, ports, comm towers, labs, which aren't on this map, but it's a very terrain dependent CO, but the bonus is just absolutely amazing with Kindle.
Yeah, exactly. Within tier 3, which is like her, home tier.
So you're flexing on me.
Up.
I'm kidding.
Well, okay, I'll talk about that in a second. This actually leads into it. So within tier 3, she's like, one of the stronger picks many times, just based on the map meta that we have. Basically, there is like this kind of idea that Kindle can hang with Eagle and the other tier 2s, that she can bump a tier up when there's enough contested properties. So like when there's enough cities, like you see this line of cities that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, like this line of 4 cities in the center. She loves to fight around that. Maybe even going as deep as this. It just feels like there's kind of like a high city density on the front line here. Okay. So that was my thought with Kindle. And then, the cities over here also get the Kindle bonus.
Yeah, definitely understand.
So I was thinking like, I don't know, I'll try some Kindle. And I wouldn't do this if this was like Global League versus... a
similar
like
ranked player
versus someone that's like a lot better than me. I definitely would not do this if I cared as much as I usually do about my rating. But I figured this is a fun game, so might as well try a little something spicy and see where it gets me.
Real quickly, what's your MMR at the time we're recording this?
It's like 1260, I think.
Yeah, I'm a little over 900, so that's low fair. And now we did say that only Kindle gets a firepower bonus off of being on the city, not her opponent, but that's where her power comes in. Urban Blight. Urban Blight deals 3 damage to all enemies on any properties where Kindle gets her bonuses. So every property that we just listed, all of those enemies are going to get minus 3 HP. And I've seen some people use this as a drained fund way. Like in standard, you can obviously see where or like what units are going to be drained funds, and they won't heal them to full. They'll just heal them to 9 HP. So that's definitely something you could maybe consider. But the way I like using Urban Blight, and I think this is a good way to use Urban Blight in Fog, is to actively see if you can utilize the power for things that you could see, like in the middle of combat, because Urban Blight also doubles the bonus to 80%. It gets a little it kind of hurts me a little bit whenever I see someone that just like spams Urban Blight and then they don't get any city bonuses. They think they're just going to drain something. I've usually seen some people build infantry to avoid the massive draining of funds, but I hear that can kind of lose the opponent some tempo. But I feel like a player can get more value off of Urban Blight if they're going to actively use the city bonus.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the best ways that I like to use Kindle is we can just like take the the example of maybe there being a green earth unit right on this city, and there's like Cobalt Ice Kindle attacking. So if Kindle has Urban Blight, she can hit it for 3 HP on the city, and then easily 2-hit KO it from the forest, or maybe 1-hit KO the city unit from forest, or maybe have a follow-up hit from shoals, and then put a unit on top of the city, and then easily 1-hit KO a unit here or here. So that's just like a really nice combo where you're clearing the city by the power, and then you're one-shotting from the city by the power, and that's like a really nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, it's I like to use to clarify. I like to use Urban Blight in the middle of a fight, not just trying to drain income from my opponent.
Right? Yeah. And I think that this is like using it in a way to like break open a wall and like engage a fight.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I think we're talking about the same thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As for her super, 6 stars, high society, gives a plus 3% bonus for every city owned, not every property. Which just to clarify, so every city that Kindle has, plus 3% attack to all of those units. They don't have to be on cities, but if they do attack from a city, that's an additional 130%, like nearly tripling Kindle's day-to-day with just a little bit extra 10%. I don't see this power used often, but the times when I do see this power used, it is incredible.
Yeah, definitely. It's basically just like a free Grim Super CO power.
Depending. Unlike low funding maps, it's not that good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it depends on how many cities you have, but honestly though, I mean, like the ranges for city numbers, like, I mean, you will occasionally run into Global League maps where like the total number of cities per side is like like
20,
15,
like
15 20. On the low end, it's like, on the low end, it might be like 14 cities.
Okay.
But on the high end, she can do so much extra damage with the city powers that they can actually like rival, without the city bonus, Grim Super CO power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Grim sometimes feels a little overkill. Doesn't Voice of Akashka use High Society? Or so I've heard.
Yeah, definitely. You see it at high level for sure. I think there's like a really famous, I don't know, it's really famous in my mind at least.
Okay.
It's not very famous, I guess, but there's this game that comes to mind between Lillian and Chufeng that happened maybe like about a year ago. Basically, like, it was a very, very, very like dominating game for Andy, and Andy was like sort of crushing Kindle. But then Kindle, but like it was like a huge stall war, so they had like gigantic armies on both sides.
I see.
And I think Kindle had like was even on income, and it was a map with tons of cities. And the Kindle like found a Super CO power turn that like every one of her vehicles got a one-shot, and it completely turned the tide of the battle and like won immediately, I think.
Yeah, it's not a bad power to use. I usually see it like an end game, late game power, but in some situations I have found Urban Blight useful.
Oh, you mean the Super CO power, right?
Like Super CO power. I can see its usefulness in your end game, or when you can try to finish off the game like a big stall war. But sometimes I still can see Urban Blight being used.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so we've been talking about the pre-game for 24 minutes now, which is thanks for everyone who's been sticking around. We're finally gonna start the game. So DPSI, feel free to take over if you notice anything that you would like to commentate on. Okay.
Sure thing.
All right. So, just a very standard infantry build. You have the free infantry, immediately going for the base. And I had to make a choice which property I wanted to capture first with my second infantry. And I kind of decided to go for this one because you could be a little bit more aggressive on your strong side compared to your weak side. Well, you, on the other hand, you get to have both of those cities at the same time.
Yeah.
But
I was sitting there like, I don't remember making this choice. Like,
you don't have to make this choice. And if you haven't, and it doesn't show, but we have been attacking these pipe seams, which I believe I break this turn. Yes, I do. I keep firing on it, and then I try to aim for this port because it's like a nice little capture chain here. Just a 2 capture chain, but still one regardless. And,
yeah, very good.
Yeah, and yeah, you know, you don't have to make a choice. You could just get both. On me, on the other hand,
I guess the one thing I do is I go for my airport with my next infantry, as opposed to like running center with it.
Yeah, you went a day sooner with the airport than me.
But yeah, I guess I'm just not in the. Oh, okay. Here's my first like actual weird thing.
I don't find this weird actually. The APC.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna ask if you had seen the APC opener before.
I have seen the APC opener before,
okay.
But minor spoiler alert. I still need practice. I actually do have enough for tank, infantry, but I did opt for an APC turn because I know how good the APCs are on this map. I've been trying to learn how to use APCs, but yeah. And here you see this APC allows this infantry to immediately get this next turn, and at the same time, this APC can transport or maybe even boost this infantry here, which is boosting is something you can only do in Advanced Wars by Web. Oh, and we see a recon as your first combat vehicle.
Yeah, I think. I mean, okay, this is kind of like showing my hand a little bit. But whenever I'm going up against like players I have no data on, I just go with more recons. Especially, I just have no idea what they're doing. I just want to poke around with my recon and see what I see.
Catbite tells me he's looked at some of my videos to see how I play. You have some resources there. Some.
Yeah, that's true. I was lazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I kind of like do like a half little attempt here. I guess what I plan to do is like have this infantry get this property. This infantry can just get that one, and this APC's in range for an infantry that I built here. But doing that has made me do something that I admit is weird. I have a tank on my bottom side. Now this is something I've noticed that's been kind of trending a little bit. I end up having like an APC go to one front, and because I'm building infantry on that side of the map, the rest is occupied with just vehicles, and for some reason I just instinctively feel like they have to go where they can reinforce a bit easier. Looking at it now, I probably could have maybe just had a tank like on this middle base and then just move up with the APC instead of like splitting myself from APCs and infantry and then vehicles on what is considered my weak side.
Yeah, I like that better too. It's kind of the classic combo of like pushing really forward, capturing with your infantry boosted by an APC. So like your infantry are really far out, and you just stick a tank behind it to like, you know, cover all of the far out captures you're doing.
Yeah, so my first mistake of the game, just having a tank on my weak side, far away from my transports.
I would kind of hesitate to call it a mistake. I think it's just like it's a choice that loses some tempo. You can still do stuff with the tank. It just loses a little bit of strong side tempo.
Mm-hmm. You know, honestly, I have done a recon on this map as well. I think it was like a day 3 recon, but I was playing as Sonja. But here you see you're building a tank in the middle, probably going to send it to the bottom side if I'm correct.
I hope so.
Yeah, something we both mutually agree on that certain move. So oh, my energy. Are you still here?
Yeah.
Okay, my lights just went out for some reason. Hope I don't crash this recording. But yeah, I did try to go a little bit aggressive in the middle, because as Eagle, I do want to stall, just a little bit. Because
exactly. One way to stall. A nice way to stall is to like sort of rush the contested properties, and then like and one way you can follow that up is by pointing artillery at your frontline properties, so that they can't be captured, and then you just kind of more slowly capture the back properties, and then you're sort of set to enter the mid game pretty stably.
Indeed. And I have a little tank chain here because, you know, in fog, where your opponents can't see your army, it's best to have a tank in range of your first tank if it ever gets attacked. Alright, so Recon's still out, still no information. Does this tell you anything yet, or are you not in range to gather any intel?
I'm not good enough for it to tell me anything.
Okay. Oh, I see. I see. I know. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if your infantry captures that neutral property in the upper left, then I'll be able to tell. Honestly, the way I set it up makes me wonder if it's actually better for the recon to be up a tile so that I see your infantry moving to this city. So if the recon's up here, I get to see this tile and I get to see you move there. But I didn't know the opening well enough to like know to do that.
That's fair.
See, because if I was up a tile, like I would have been able to see that and then infer that you're APC boosting.
Yep. So yeah, just another continuation of capturing properties. I have 2 of them, 2.5. So I'm starting to feel a little bit comfortable, and I kind of have like the tanks like move down here a little bit just to see what you're doing. You know, it's a mini scouting. 3 vision on a tank isn't so terrible. And I build a Day 8 battlecopter. I usually don't do this, but I was kind of trying something. Like instead of like just tank chaining, I thought I would just like get a battlecopter here too. At the time I was playing this game, I was having problems with air units because I haven't been building enough anti-air. I've always been trying to go for tank, but I thought, like, you know, for battlecopters, it can do well against tanks and other battlecopters as well. But compared to an anti-air can actually one-shot a battlecopter. Another battlecopter does not one-shot a battlecopter.
Right. One thing I wanted to point out really quick with the tank moves down here. So this guy started off on the previous turn right here. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into the forest. So I guess it is like shielded and stuff, but it's not exactly scouting as well as a recon would. And you're like, I think in the opening I'd have to be absolutely crazy to gun for this property.
Okay.
Like I'd probably be going for these 2, which is I think what you're intending to do too. So I don't think the tank really accomplishes very much by being this far back. Feels a little passive. Like maybe it'd be better served like running to the front, and then like being around to like counter hit from one of these cities, perhaps.
All right. Yeah, I notice I tend to play very, very passively. So, yeah, it's
Okay, I make a stupid APC move. The boost that I do is like, I mean, it boosts 1 more, but like, I start to get far enough away from my base. Oh, sorry, I'm like picking up a sprite, and that's really weird. But like, I think this is about the time in like the best openings I've seen where the APC goes back and transports a mech right about here. And that's my favorite variation of the APC opening. And the fact that my APC gets kind of busy, kind of doing busy work over here, means that it's late for the mech timing. So I'm not as thrilled about that, but I guess it means that I get the property faster, and maybe that's okay.
Yeah. So going for the comm tower, and you did see my APC here trying to deny this property, but I'm also not proud of this APC as well. Like I said, all my combat vehicles are on my weak side, and this ABC is just sitting here alone. And now you see that I have captured one of the properties. Won't get to interrupt it, but assuming that I don't have any vehicles down here to punish you just getting a free hit on my infantry.
Yeah, I think APC openings, it's like best, like, so I think one thing that I oftentimes run into just intuitively, once I like deliver a couple infantry, my APC suddenly becomes a portable wall, and I forget that it can still move infantry around.
See.
That's like something that I have to like break that intuition every time I use APCs.
Gotcha.
So maybe just keep that in mind too, that like it's probably more valuable moving infantry around than it is as like a movable pipe seam.
Gotcha. Tank moves down to the center a lot faster than mine. Moving infantry forward, and 2 more tanks. With the infantry in the middle, I can see like a triple tank chain going to your strong side, and at least just 1 supporting tank to help your weak side. Alright, so yeah, I'm not getting any boost from my APC, even though they can just attack. Even though they'll capture those properties at the same time anyways. And I decide to... Unfortunately, I don't kill this infantry because I don't have the comm tower, but that's at least like 1 less infantry I have to worry about, kind of, for the time. And I start to move my tanks towards the center. Again, Again, I kind of wish I had them on my strong side, but seems like you got something to say.
Sorry, I just needed to move my cursor because there was that little glitched sprite and I couldn't see what was going on.
Oh, so he didn't have anything to say. Sorry. Whoops. Parsec, you're useful, but oh man. And yeah, like I said, kind of having problems with the lack of anti-airs that I've had in previous games, so I went for one here. And I also went for this artillery, plan to put it here, break this pipe seam, and then the artillery continues to move towards this front, and this artillery can move towards the other front.
Ah, so you put your artillery on the strong side. Okay, interesting.
Wait, I'm sorry, what do you mean? Like...
So you're gonna move this artillery over to here, and then the 2 artillery will go separate directions?
Yes.
The way I normally see it, although I don't know if it's like good or not, is the artillery leave together as a pair to the weak side.
Okay.
And pairs of artillery have like they're kind of like bishops in chess. I don't know if you play any chess, but like
I suck at chess.
There's just like one of those like proverbs they say about how pairs of bishops are like extra strong, and the same could be said about artillery.
I see the appeal. I 100% see the appeal. I have used artillery adjacent because they basically cover each other.
Yeah, sending them separate ways. I mean, it makes sense for to have an artillery on this front because there's like so many infantry to block. So I could see it both ways. I just was kind of interested by your choice.
I see. Huh, I thought. Well, as Kantbai once told me, sometimes you can learn new things from lower level players.
Oh, definitely.
That's probably the best compliment I've got from him. Alrighty, so your tank comes in, heavily damages my infantry, and you pull back with your infantry, and you've got another tank hiding. And
yeah, so that was a very important discovery I made, that you had a tank right there.
Oh, okay.
Seeing that was like crucial because you could actually sort of see the hesitation. What's the key to go forward and back? Oh, I see. Right.
I think I can give you keyboard control, and I have A to go back, D to go forward, W to skip a whole turn, and then S to go back a full turn. But
it's fine.
I guess.
It's
Okay.
fine. This is good. So I saw this and like mentally I'm like, oh snap. Okay. It still works out though because I have 2 tanks backing this up, and this is your weak side. So like, it's still like this guy covers, which is an important detail. So then my next thought is like, okay, well, I'll just get this tank as like far forward as I can in this forest, out of vision of this tank, and I'll just kind of like surprise with a 2-tank counter hit.
Yeah, I think
that was my idea there.
I think in your position, you should feel a little more comfortable because I'm on my weak side, or like my side where I don't have a outside base to like reinforce just a bit faster. All right, so moving your infantry down towards the center, and you build an anti-air. A turn later than my battlecopter, but they probably should meet around the same time, because this base, like we discussed, can reinforce a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm a pretty late anti-air builder, but
Okay.
I just remember that you were Eagle, and I was like, okay, there's no way he doesn't build a B-copter like right away.
I didn't build a B-copter because I was Eagle. I built a B-copter because I was trying something new.
Okay.
But
It's
yeah,
just like a trend that I see with especially a lot of like players like I don't know, like around like 1,000 rating or so.
as
A lot of people are just like, yeah, B-copter is good. Eagle, build B-copter.
as Deegis has said, playing Eagle isn't as simple as building battlecopters and focusing more on air.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing.
Yes. Yes, but if I wasn't playing Eagle, at the time I was playing this, I was trying something new. So if I wasn't
Gotcha.
Eagle, I'd still have this battlecopter this turn.
Okay.
Yes.
In which case, my anti-air would have been like 2 turns later because I don't like building anti-air.
Oh, man. So I still don't see this recon. I probably feel like maybe I could have had it on the mountain, because I could still go for either city while just getting a bit more vision. Yeah, I could have. Yeah, I could have boosted it, like had the APC.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Put the APC in the forest and then just boost it on the mountain. Or maybe oh no, I did that. Okay, still works. I still capture these 2 properties here. I tend to notice I do have some micromanagement issues whenever I'm playing Advanced Wars. So here I do a little bit of scouting, and I make after this turn I feel like this was like a horrible decision for me to do. As Eagle, I do want to be a more stally CO, and like my plans for like capturing the more contested properties and saying that I would stall, I'm doing quotation marks, saying that I would stall, I end up being a bit more aggressive and decide to attack this and you kill your tank. My reasoning for doing that though was because my battlecopter would actually cover my 2 tanks. But I really feel like that I shouldn't have made this move after I ended my turn. I definitely would like to hear your thoughts.
Let me count tiles for the anti-air really quick.
You can click on them. I think green is movement, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He reaches here, and then so from this tile, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 covers any of the attacking tiles that I would do.
Mm-hmm.
So like if this whole fight happened 1 tile over, then I'd say go to town, like go absolutely crazy.
I see.
But the fact that it's like 2, that it's exactly 2 from the base, means that it's actually a little closer to the base in that regard than you might think.
Yeah, I don't realize my mistakes until after the turn ends, which is not good.
Everybody does that.
Yep. Yeah, and at this point, I was like, you know what, I've already committed so many vehicles to this front, might as well just be consistent with it. So turn 10, lose the 2 HP infantry, and you get the first strike on both of my tanks. Thankfully not the city, because I'm occupying it, but Kindle tank on a city with a comm tower versus a tank on the road. I'll throw the calculations on screen. You guys will know how much damage it does. And okay, I see it now. You're preventing me from attacking from this angle. with the APC.
You remember that thing I said about my APC being
Yes.
a portable pipe?
Yes.
That move.
But if you
That exact move.
But if you put an infantry in the APC, it has nowhere to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you've already captured 3 of the properties here, and you have a recon. That's a free hit. Everything up there is a free hit at that point, which is
one thing I wanted to mention too about the positioning there. Since the infantry was not in the mountain, it was a tile adjacent to the city, and I think that like one thing that people sort of realize after a certain point is like, you know how Lash works, where like if you attack from terrain, you do better. Well, okay, it's just like that even if you're not Lash.
Cities are lava.
Like, yeah, cities are lava, and so or the cities, the places next to cities are lava. Like this road tile is lava. You know?
Yeah, it's still lava to me. It's like a
It's
a 5-tile lava. Well,
yeah,
except the center, unless Kindle's got Urban Blight, then the 3 HP is.
Oh yeah, that's right, and I'm Kindle too. So, okay, yeah. So it's like, even if you don't see a threat, I am always like scared of the Kindle infantry stepping onto the city and just ruining my day.
Yeah, just don't expose yourself to. Don't leave yourself adjacent to high terrain properties or tiles.
Yeah.
So almost all the properties are captured. I'm just sadly behind with a neutral property, and so I do kind of make a retreat. And I was kind of banking on the fact that you didn't have an anti-air at this point, but lo and behold,
I got lucky this time.
yeah, you did. And if you did have a battlecopter attacking my battlecopter, I had something for that battlecopter, but I probably should have known better. Take a cheap shot at your APC. Yeah.
Well, I think this specific case, now that the fight is kind of wrapped up, we can just say I think the issue is you're fighting on your weak side without a lot of support from your main bases, and so like you don't have that extra tank around from like one. You don't have that extra tank around to follow up this hit, because if you did have like 2 extra tanks around, then you'd be winning this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a matter of not quite having enough stuff, even though you have been pumping out a vehicle every turn from this base.
It's a lot slower than the other side. Yeah, it's yeah, I was like, but yeah, it was just me, kind of feeling a little bit confident about not having something for my copter, but I didn't realize that I should have realized I was on my weak side. And yeah, this I have nothing for that recon, which is I'm sending a tank over, but it's gonna be a few days at this point.
And the thing is too, like this recon is delighted to have a tank go and deal with it way up in this corner where nothing else is happening. It like a 4K unit draws a 7K unit away from the main fray. So it's like I kind of have 3 extra K sitting in the middle.
Gotcha.
by having this distraction.
Ah, alright. That's one way to think about it. Alright, yeah, that's gonna die. That dies. That kind of hurt me a lot when I saw that. Full HP infantry capturing the property, and you've got that 1 HP infantry is still doing its job. Oh, I wasn't clicking on the cursor. I had a little talk with Kent about when to heal units and when to use them as blockers. I think you said like usually around 5 to 6 HP he would let them repair, because this tank here is going to sit there for 4 extra turns, just draining my funds, while still kind of exposed. So I'm still trying to figure out what to do with units. Should I repair them or should I use them as blockers? Do you have a way with that, DPSI?
It's complicated for sure. I don't think I have a simple answer. In this particular situation, you can see I actually heal my 2 HP tank as well.
Okay.
I think I mean, the way I can retroactively justify it is it's like I see that you're healing your low HP tanks. I guess I don't know. I don't know about that guy exactly, but I see you're healing this one. If I heal this, then we'll just kind of like heal at the same rate, so it's kind of canceled out.
Yeah.
In your situation, though, you actually don't have any other tanks around, so in the long term, if you can heal up these tanks and like kind of bluff off having stuff behind it, then like you can get back to a healthy tank count. Whereas if you lose both of these tanks, you're like seriously lacking in the tank department.
All right. So yeah, definitely complicated. So you pull back a little bit, still in range to interrupt any captures if I do go for those captures. Okay, and here we see a little bit deviation of you putting your artillery as forward as you can, and very likely having them join up together. And day 11 battlecopter, when I had this anti-air for like, I can't remember what day, but I definitely had it. But that's 8K. That's currently not doing anything. So yeah, I try to interrupt this capture. Should I have let this go, considering how many infantry you had around the property?
I think it's less about infantry number and more about like tank number, because you really don't have the tanks to support this, and because you know that I have tanks around.
Oh well. Okay then.
I think you do, right?
Wait, I what?
That you know that I have tanks around?
Yeah, I should. I do. So knowing that you had tanks around, this wasn't the best thing to do.
I think so, because you don't really have you don't have the tanks to support the push.
Okay, and I end up. Oh man, I don't think this was worth it.
No, then you're losing a 5 HP tank, which could get healed up, in a few turns to something pretty useful.
Yeah. Alright, go back to getting vision. Still trying to hope I get this property, or if you go for it, I could interrupt it with those infantry. Oh yeah, at this point, my first artillery has been freed. Occupy the city to kill your 6 HP infantry. And yeah, I just, starting to kill infantry, kind of protecting my my healing tank. Oh, nope, never mind. Huh, why did I do that though? I probably felt like that you had something that could like break this, and then you would kill my tank, and then you'd occupy the city with another unit. I think that's what I was probably worried about, but now I wonder why I didn't go for the heal.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting the heal, because like, you would kind of want to commit to either heal or not heal.
Maybe I suspected you had a tank here, and you would like send it down here to kill it, but that'd be a little bit of an overextension on your part, if that was the case. Yeah. Oh, the battlecopter teleported because I think I used the battlecopter to break the pipe seam, which puts me like kind of like 2 tiles behind. But I at least get this artillery out a turn sooner. Urban Blights. Oh, that's why, because you had Urban Blight.
Okay.
That makes a lot more sense now. Makes a lot more sense now. All right. Yeah. 80%. Actually, hold on. So 80% from the power, and then plus a 10% more from the CO power, and you have a comm tower. Is that 100? Or am I overcounting?
I don't have the boosts memorized.
It's 80% with Urban Blight, 10%
plus tower plus
power plus comm. So basically, with the comm tower, Kindle's powers is doubled. Yeah, it's like if you're one-shotting
infantry on planes, they are doing like grim amounts of damage.
Yeah, it's like around 49% when you're attacking an infantry on the plains with another infantry. So one-shotting it basically, yeah, this shows that your power's just doubled. And here it's like down to 4 HP because you have the comm tower and the CO bonus. Yeah, you open yourself up to attacking my tank, and yeah, that is a lot of penguins in the middle, killing off my infantry on the mountain. I'm starting to develop penguin paranoia because of you guys now.
It sounds like the name of a movie.
Penguin
like a detective movie.
Penguin
like
paranoia. A detective movie, huh?
Yeah.
I do not see it that way, but I won't call you crazy. Alright, so as of right now, behind on income, behind on unit value, behind on unit count, not enough tanks in the center. Well, I do have this, so I guess I felt kind of okay with it because I definitely have 2 more tanks coming to reinforce. I occupy the city, and I go for a weird recon block as well as interrupting, but I don't. We'll see what I do with this tank there. So now I go for the healing because you've already used up your Urban Blight. Artillery kind of in a little special position if you ever try to start an HQ cap. I have won a game where I did put an artillery here. Well, I was on the other side, had an artillery here, and I actually interrupted a Sammy capture.
Nice.
Alright, so because of my lack of tanks, I thought I would compensate with a medium tank. And I think I base skipped for that, actually. And
yeah.
This was a stupid infantry. I think my plan behind it was kind of like what this tank would do to this recon, is that I would make you use something to try to interrupt this capture, but I don't think it would hurt you so much to use a single infantry for that interrupt there.
Yeah, I just kind of happened to have a guy right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a token skeleton crew to protect your properties like this bottom side. Definitely a good thing to do. And penguins hiding in the woods, like always. You reveal my artillery, so I don't think you try to go for an HQ cap in my face just to get me worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, first strikes on my tanks. Oh yeah, it also reveals the anti-air too, which sucked. You also protect your anti-air, and you've got the rig on. Oh my god, this looks absolutely terrible right now. Oh, this hurts. Oh my god, this...
Well, basically where I'm at right now is, I've traded positively into you a couple of times, and I'm in the mode where I was just like pedal to the metal, trying to do as much damage before super seal power.
I see. Yeah, I have had like ticking time bomb situations where the power is coming and you're like you said, pedal to the metal, now or never. Triple tank. Alright. And at this point I wasn't exactly too sure if I would get my power, but if I did get my power, I'd probably pop it right away. Not because it's gonna win the game, because at this point I'm at the situation where using my power just puts me in a better place than where I am now. So yeah, I move up my recon, get some vision, and I don't go for the recon kill. I saw the opportunity to strike here with a tank, and so I do that. Because I was kind of like, yeah, I feel like at this point I probably could be able to get my power. I kind of like start distributing my my damage first, and then maybe deal damage more. I don't play a whole lot of Eagle. I feel like maybe probably could learn how to do a bit better. Yeah, and I ended up attacking with these infantry because I didn't have the power yet. If I had the power at that time, I would attack with infantry last because they would get the plus 2%, plus 10% offense and defense.
You just barely got that power charge.
Yes, I barely got that power. I barely got it. But I had to move my infantry first, though. And funny enough, I only end up building 2 vehicles instead of 1. But if you have the funds, it's definitely still something you can do. Just build vehicles, use the power, and then move them off. And then build another unit behind them. So here comes the lightning strike. Alright, kill that infantry. Trap your recon again, but your recon's just gonna happily kill infantry uncontested. Alright, and I try to deal as much damage as I can. Take out your 4 HP tank. The 3 HP tank takes out that infantry. And yeah, right now I'm just trying to finish off your tanks. Kind of exposed my battlecopter. Not too sure if you do go for it. And I'm also damaging like infantry to like, if you ever want to capture with them, then it'll just be a lot more nullified. But like I said, I use this power to not to try to win the game, because I felt like at this point, if I didn't use it, I wouldn't have a chance to use it again.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the right move.
Yep. So here comes the power. Urban Blight. Thankfully, I moved my vehicles off the property. So yeah, that's a good hit. Another free hit. Moving back to repair your tank. Oh, so you don't go for the copter. Wait, you can't see it. Never mind.
Yeah, I didn't have vision. I could have checked the replay and known exactly where it was, but I guess I didn't do that.
I see. Feels like a flex.
I think it was just me being lazy, because honestly, like this situation looks really bad for me. I'm gonna lose.
I feel very. I'm trying to say it as a joke, but right now I'm slowly starting to feel like saying that high-level players are flexing on me is. I know you guys aren't jerks that would do that, but I just thought it's a funny joke to say, "Oh, they're doing this because they're flexing on me."
No, not because I'm flexing on you.
Yeah, none of these guys flex on people. I can assure you guys that. So
Maybe if someone talks some trash, I might flex on some people.
Oh yeah, it's like, I beat your tier 1 CO with a tier 4 CO.
Oh, dude, that game that I did the HQ cap on. Oh, I flexed on the guy so hard.
What did they do to you?
He called me nasty names.
Oh, okay, yeah, then
I banned him from the Discord server, and he called me horrible names.
Oh shoot.
And then I played him in Global League. I destroyed him.
Oh man.
I enjoyed every minute.
Okay. I didn't think we'd get this far in the video, but okay. Artillery protects my video tank, if in case you have something for the tech up, but doesn't protect this tank here. Say you have the forces to attack this, and then you attack my tank from the city with your own medium tank. That would have looked horrible.
Yeah, it would have been a bad time.
Yeah. Alright, so
yeah, I feel like I'm finally gaining back enough vehicles where I can do a dent into your army. And the other thing too is I'm finally like getting payoff from the artillery finally bringing in its friend from the top, and then has a tank with it. So at this point, I'm just kind of like waiting for my 2 armies to join, and then I can happily fight again with everything in the middle.
I see. I think at this point of the game, both of us were trying to stall, because like after recovering from my horrible early moves, I was like, okay, I'm Eagle, I want to be the stally CO, so I think I start to stall as well. I know I'm just 1 income behind, but I wasn't too afraid of being just like 1 income behind, but I definitely would like that property.
Yeah, if you're kind of doing the long-term stall thing where your superpower gets better and better and better the longer you stall, it's okay to be down like 1 or 2 properties.
Yeah. So, Eagle's a prime example. I've heard, the same situation can go for Hawk too. Doesn't matter if you're down properties. Just stall it out. Got I feel like I'm spread out a lot more than you are. Like,
I was about to say, it looks kind of dangerous. There's a lot of stuff in the upper left that doesn't cover the bottom center.
Yeah, it doesn't. So, you, I think this is where we start to have like a bit of a passive turn. I have a recon in the forest. Oh, there's your mech that you spoke of. I have a recon.
I finally got the mech. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, don't worry. I have a late game mech too in a future upload. So I'm just seeing things moving. I'm just seeing things moving around. Oh wait, what happened?
I just said not the eagle mech.
Oh no, not
They
Eagle
make
mech.
me so sad.
It wasn't.
Can't move twice.
It wasn't. No, I had an adder mech.
Oh, I thought you said eagle mech.
No, it's okay. I'm not gonna spoil the results, but it was 1v1 Normandy, and I realized a little late how good mechs were on that map. I'm like, I picked adder because the choke point is a little hard and it's gonna help out my units. But then I was like, wait, mechs are good on this map. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, I'm a bit spread out more than you are. I thankfully I had this recon survive and just saw like a couple things moving around, so I kind of felt like you were stalling a bit. Okay.
Yeah, you pretty much see everything. At least not everything, but so much that like you even see the depth of my army. Yeah. Like here, like you can even see these empty plains tiles behind my army, which sort of tells you how thick it is, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
Yeah, it sort of tells you like, okay, there's this much stuff over here, and I doubt that there's going to be much beyond the empty barrier.
Yeah. And by the time I have a tank to take care of your recon, it ain't there.
Yeah.
Sad. Yeah, I'm.
Oh, that's where your
sending.
stuff goes.
I'm sending way too many units to the top. I thought you were going to be a lot more stallier than that.
No, I got attack. You're equal.
Yes, that is true. I should have expected that. I'm not much of a death ball kind of guy. I think that's one of my problems.
Well, I don't know. It works for Go 7, but
Can't told me like if you build death balls, you're gonna hit 1,000 easy or something. I heard about like a death ball comparison to the rubber band comparison because it covers so much more area, but now I see the flaws of this rubber band strategy is that this tank cannot protect this tank. This medium tank cannot protect what's up here. And yeah, that's the problem with spreading yourself out thin. You don't get to cover every single unit compared to a death ball.
yeah, that's one of the weaknesses for sure.
And when I looked at the replay and I saw, I mean, I already knew what the damage was, but when I saw your recon just come in, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm Eagle. He's probably gonna want to go in. And boom, you do. Infantry breaks, exposes these two infantry to two different angles of attack. Goes for the counter hit. And, ooh, it doesn't die.
Well, I don't get the spicy 1 in 3 chance to KO here, which would have powered up my attack a little bit.
Yeah, it's Battlecopters do the same damage, around the same damage as tanks, and 20% is what gives you the guaranteed kill on properties. Oh man, that's... oh no. I'd say please be gentle, but this is like already days ago when this game happened. Oof. Ooh. Yeah, that whole spot right there, and you're moving in with artillery.
Yeah, that is the power of artillery. Is you can do a big attack like that, and then you give it bones. You know.
You reviewed my max game. You saw how sad I was to not be able to have like decent artillery.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was max ditto, so it's just a different. Just play a different game.
Yeah, it was like a much different game. I lived that war, as you said.
Don't worry, I did too. Watching.
Hey, it took you an hour. Took you an hour to watch. It took you time out. It took you an hour to watch it. It took me a month to play it.
My mouth was so dry. Oh my god. I was grasping for water when I was done. I was like, oh, please. My mouth.
I don't know whether to apologize or whether to.
Actually, it's like nothing to do with you. In a way, it's like it was just a long game, and it was my fault for taking, as much going into as much detail as I did.
I mean, a lot was happening in that game. Don't be wrong.
A lot happened. Yeah.
So much happened in that game. What the nice thing about battlecopters, attacking with a battlecopter in comparison to a tank, is that a tank has to counterattack with machine guns. So that's why battlecopters are a little nicer than tanks, even though they just deal a bit more damage. I mean, deal the same damage. I'm sorry. I think this was kind of like a Hail Mary move. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna try to hurt you as much as I can. Hopefully I get my charge. Oh, I put my tank on a HQ. I guess I was trying to stop a potential capture. But, Urban Blight! Oh yeah, and I have a medium tank in range of an artillery, so, it's artillery on a city too, so that's not gonna look pretty.
The Kindle CO power.
Oh yes, absolutely. Oh god, I save the medium tank as much as you can, infantry. When an infantry has to save a medium tank, that's when you know things aren't going well.
Oh my gosh. Hero infantry.
What do you use? Urban Blight or High Society? Urban Blight! Oh man.
Urban Blight, because like I want to do damage onto this. I want to do that so I can potentially KO with anti-air. Artillery. So I can.
You're not the only one who's done that.
I started that trend. I'll have you know.
Really?
Yeah,
I guess I have.
It up for like years.
I guess I haven't watched you enough. It's usually
it's okay.
It's usually Deegis.
I know. I literally did that for years, and then he started doing it. Anyways, I one hit KO the anti-air and then hit from city, and that's why
Okay, so let's hold on. So you have 2 ports, 3 bases, an airport, and an HQ, and a comm tower. Okay, so let's slow that down. 3 bases and an airport, that's 4. 2 ports, that's 6. 7 and 8, that's the HQ and the comm tower. Am I missing anything else?
Well, if you're gonna subtract from the income, then the comm tower doesn't count.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like like High Society is like boosted from cities, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to see like what would be the damage that your units would have outside of attacking from a city. So right now it's 22. We take away
it's -7.
-7. Oh wait, 3 bases. There's 2 ports. 3 bases.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's 5.
HQ, 3 bases.
6.
That's 4. Airport is 5. 2 ports is 7. Comm tower would be 8, right?
But the comm tower, you don't subtract money from the comm tower because the comm tower.
But it's a. Oh right, I'm stupid. So it's -7. So 15. That's like a 45 attack boost. 45 attack boost.
Times 3 is 45. Yeah.
45 attack, 45, and then 55 from the power, and then 65 from the comm tower. I could maybe see a High Society happen, maybe. But
yeah, could be.
Either way, this turn's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye bye, medium tank. The hero infantry couldn't pull through. Oh man. Yeah, anti-air's gone. Battlecopter's gone. That tank.
The idea here is like attack really hard in one area because I see you have a lot of stuff over here.
Respectable.
So I just want to like sort of attack everything down here so that you have to waste a turn moving before you get to hit. I think.
And the infantry here did not deal 3 damage to a tank. It was down to like 0.1 health from the Urban Blight.
Yeah, exactly.
What just died into that? Oh yeah, that's at 7 HP.
7 HP. Yeah.
That's 80%. Another 80%. excluding the other bonuses that you get. Trap 2 of my units here. These are essentially dead.
Well, I trapped the units, but it would have been a lot better if I would have killed them. Because I don't like it. I don't like that you have vision of my entire army.
Well, these are essentially dead anyway, so.
Yeah, it's just like it makes.
Oh right. Yeah.
Easier for you.
Yeah, lightning strike is a lot easier to pull off in standard because you can see everything. Excuse me. Day 19. So moving with the copter. Oh man, sad. I felt I had to like sacrifice the infantry, the hero infantry, the same infantry I tried to save the medium tank loses its life to free the tank. Go for the hit on the recon, and
he couldn't sack into the artillery.
Oh my god! Oh god! This was disgusting. Oh god!
6-3. Oh, that's brutal.
That's Kindle for you. Yep, and then I'm just, just buy infantry. That's all I could afford. Lightning strike. I could afford infantry because that's what Urban Blight did to me. Still don't have the city. Doing this again because I don't know. I thought it worked earlier. Getting hits on that. Killing off your anti-air. Tank can only kill the tank. Medium tank can only kill the tank. Helicopter moves up, hits that tank. That tank dies. Infantry survives, which is understandable. That infantry survives, medium tank moves. Just moving to my infantry up. APC, because why not? And then I resign. I didn't want to end it where it just resigned without a lightning strike. I thought it'd be a bit more entertaining to pull off, because how often do you get to play with a lightning strike?
Yeah, well, I think that it was close enough that it was definitely worth exploring whether or not the lightning strike is gonna get you back in it, and you can see just by like the unit value. So you've pretty much spent everything. I'm up 2K at the beginning of my turn, and I'll have first strike starting with like a pretty big unit lead, value lead.
This isn't.
So by the numbers, it's like pretty over.
Yeah, this isn't accurate to look at the two right now, but it's best to look at it after your turn, assuming you'd have that turn. Like, you still have that turn to kill more of my units and build more units, but yeah, that was quite the game. I will say I feel proud in some aspects that I was able to last this long against you. But a couple of mistakes I did say earlier was I already committed so many vehicles to my weak side, and I brought a few down there. I could have easily brought them along with my APC and then stuck to my strong side, but I wanted like infantry closer to that side for some reason. So of course build a tank on the far side so infantry get a little closer. And on that far side, I just instinctively felt like my vehicles just had to go there because they'd be a little bit faster. And I was starting to fight you on my weak side and on your strong side. Let's also not forget to mention that it didn't match the playstyle that my CO definitely would have liked. So that was another mistake in that part.
Yeah, so there's a couple of those things we can talk a little bit more about. I think when it comes to matching the death ball, I think it is so. I briefly mentioned Go 7 there. The context with Go 7 is that I've heard him say at least before that he's not much of a death baller. Instead, he calls it guerrilla tactics. And the idea is that like you have enough stuff outside of like where the death ball is that you're constantly threatening captures and stuff like that, but you have enough stuff that like you can kind of not immediately die to the death ball like eating your HQ.
So I have been a victim to Go 7's guerrilla attacks.
Yeah.
I see it now. He had battle counters outside of my recon range, and he made sure they would be outside of recon range. And then I just got hit with like 4 battle copters. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah, it's a very unique playstyle. The rubber band strategy that I tried to go for also didn't do much favors for me because unlike a death ball, which can actually cover all of their units in that same spot, making people a lot less reluctant to attack into.
Yeah, I think in that particular situation, is it okay if I go back to that day where we saw just really quickly?
Around
It was like
this.
right here, yeah. Um, to me, this is like so, especially against Kindle, having like your key unit, who is in this case this infantry. If this infantry gets wiped, then like I guess the artillery is in the forest, so actually that's safer than I thought.
Okay.
And actually, the medium tank is here, so this is actually safer than I thought at first glance.
All right.
Um,
I'll
but
take
still,
that.
like this is the thing is like there's a lot of units over here, and they're not like really.
Like that tank cannot protect the other tank on the other side.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true, and it's kind of like part of the reason the death ball is strong. But I think that the reason this doesn't work in particular is because these 4 vehicles are not really accomplishing very much. Like they're not covering the other units like a death ball does, and also they're not exactly threatening this city because you're a very long way away from having infantry capturing my stuff. Like if you had infantry here, infantry here, infantry here, and they were rotating up to like take my comm tower, now we're talking like now that's like a good use of 4 vehicles potentially to have some like secondary objective that you're fighting for. But like considering they're not supporting this like kind of far forward ball here, yeah, it just feels like a little bit of like not quite. Your army just feels like it's not quite all on the same page.
Yeah. One thing I've heard, like this is like, I guess you could input in whatever you'd like. Is like one way to like try to beat death ball is to attack it from where it's harder for it to reach because death balls are kind of slow. I probably could have led to something like that here, but yeah, like looking at this here, like with this recon, I should probably see that you don't have, well, maybe except for this one, I should probably see that you don't have any infantry that would go for these cities here, which is definitely something I am worried about, like losing cities, just trying to move to another front. But was that something I possibly could have done from this turn, like trying to find a different angle to attack you with, or like force you to like move away from from my properties?
Well, actually, the funny thing is too, Eagle likes a death ball.
Yeah.
You can just kind of like stare the other death ball in the face and like have a healthy infantry shield that he uses to out front to keep things from getting too spicy. Sort of just like sit back and then get more and more and more income.
Okay.
But to answer your question, if like this is a different CO matchup, I think that you can start like attacking upwards like this, and like going for this city and this city. The APC is like your friend when you're doing that. That's kind of all I see. But the thing is, like, you do have to respect this death ball because your HQ, as we talked about, is right here, and death ball in the HQ can really end the game pretty quickly.
Oh yes, definitely. So I still haven't implemented in my mind that I should be, building death balls because I always thought that their mobility would be a huge issue, but as I've seen time and time again, if you have a death ball in the right place, then their mobility won't be a problem at all.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if your death ball is the one that's kind of calling the shots. Like if there is an HQ that it's kind of looking at.
All right. Any not to inflate my own ego, but anything I did right in this game?
Yeah. Let's see. I think that a lot of the small details in your tactics were good. Um, there were only a couple of things that I noticed, but yeah, on the most part, I think that like for instance, I really liked your second, even though it didn't end up, bringing you back into the game. The second lightning strike, where you sacrifice this infantry and then use this tank as part of a attack to escape. That was cool for sure. And like, I mean, the other thing I would say is like you did so many things right that like it's like we're focusing only on the things you did wrong, but like there's so many things that you did right that we didn't talk about that like I would have to. They're like more than I could like count, you know.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I'm kind of going on this. I'm kind of going on this philosophy where I want to learn what my mistakes are, rather than acknowledge what I did was right. I feel like that could maybe help me improve how I play. But I feel like one thing that we could like, if we were to put down how this game went for me in a one sentence, is that my macro didn't sync up well with my micro. Because like obviously I want to stall, but I don't have a death ball.
Yeah, yeah. I think that there's a little bit of like dissonance between like your CO's objectives and maybe like the way that your macro went.
Yeah, but it's still nice to hear that some of my micro engagements actually was actually acknowledgeable. So that's still a win for me. I'll absolutely take that.
Oh, definitely. And like that's just the natural progression of things. Is like I think everybody starts off trying to get their micro good enough that it holds up versus a even enough fight at someone against their skill level, and then I think then the next step is like trying to keep yourself from blundering. Just like in chess, it's the same thing. You know, you
Yes.
just like want to stop making the mistakes that you see immediately and go ah, and then the next step is like you just got to start thinking more like broadly about strategy and like then you really get to play the game, you know, like and this is exactly the stage you're in, is like figuring out like how COs prefer to play. And actually like the thing is too, like it's easy to say like okay, I'm going to stall this game, but then actually convincing your like hand to press the buttons in order to stall is actually really hard.
I see. I see. All right. So
Yeah, everybody has to learn how to do that. And, you're just getting a lot of practice at that now.
yeah, absolutely. Definitely a lot of things to unpack and take in from this game, and this post game commentary review that I am thankful to have. All right.
Yeah.
So, DPSI, where can my viewers find you?
Yeah, so on YouTube, I'm DPSI space duck, and then
Dipsy
Twitch.
Duck.
I'm also Dipsy
I'm
Duck.
kidding. I'm kidding. Desai, right? It's like this. It's like Desai duck.
Yeah,
That sounds so much more cooler, though.
I know. I also have a Twitch at the same with the same name. I want to start streaming more. I've done a lot in the past, but I think it'd be fun to stream live games and just like goof around and stuff. So I think I'll
Streaming live.
try maybe doing some of that this month.
Yeah, streaming live games is fun. I've definitely done that multiple times. Can get exhausting like after 2 games, but having a live game feels fun. It's like how I used to play Advanced Wars as a kid, except I didn't have any human opponents to play against.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Any last words or final thoughts to say?
No, I don't know. Play Advance Wars. It's fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, guys and gals. Thank you so much for bearing with us on this very long yet special collab between me and the Side Duck. I hope to do this again eventually, but I am definitely in an arc where I'm trying to learn how to play, while at the same time trying to learn how to have fun. But yeah, it's with most of my recent collabs that I've had, I've definitely been honing in all the things that I can learn about this game. That I'm not at that level yet, still trying to climb Global League, but it's taken forever because everyone takes like 24 hours for their turn, maybe a week sometimes. But that's if I'm gonna get somewhere high, it's gonna take some time before I get there. I might stumble, but only time will tell. So
Wait. Can I shill Live League on the Discord server? Have you used that yet?
wait, what about Live League?
It's the one where you play live games on a ranked ladder, and Talos, does the spreadsheet and everything.
I have definitely looked at Live League a lot. It's just I don't feel ready for Live League.
Oh, just play. I've been trying to get.
I definitely do want to try Live League. It's just that after after this recording, I have to edit a video, and I'm definitely planning to change up my schedule just a little bit. So we'll have to see if I do have time for Live League, because yeah, it's this whole YouTube thing is just a hobby for me, and I enjoy doing it. So I'm definitely gonna have to see if I can afford to do Live League, which I definitely have had interest in.
Okay, sounds good. Just
Yes.
wanted to make sure you considered it.
I'm aware of Live League. Yes, definitely try out Live League if you're not a fan of those month-long games. All right, guys and gals, I'm Advanced Warrior. Oh, you can say you're.
Oh, I'm DPSI.
Usually I expect them to pick up on that. I'm sorry, that's on me. But
You
yeah,
didn't give me the briefing.
I thought people would pick up on that. Thank you all so much for bearing with us on this hour and a half long video. I hope you all learned as much as I did. You all have our warmest regards. Please take care. Ciao, ciao.